Today I want to talk about digital avatars. They're getting more and more realistic, and we have two new tools that will actually make them even more realistic than before. Actually so much that I think a lot of people might actually question whether it's an avatar or it's a real person. So I tried to test this. Basically it is two new tools. One is called Hydra, it's doing the animation, and then we have Flux, who are doing the realistic images. But first, let's meet Rachel Turner. So I created Rachel Turner. She's a host of an imaginary TV station, and I'm going to let her interview me. But first, I want to show you my workflow on how you create her, or how I created her. And it's really simple. Anybody can pretty much do this and follow my workflow. It's really simple. Anybody can pretty much do this and follow this workflow. You don't even have to pay anything to these models, but I chose to pay $30 to get this done, but you can decide for yourselves. But basically, I used a new image generator called Flux because it's more realistic than Midjourney. It may not make more beautiful pictures, but they just look more real and more realistic. I think 11 Labs is still leading when it comes to voices, so this is where I create the voice. The animations are done in this new software called Hydra. I'm doing a little bit of photo editing. It doesn't really matter where you do it, but I use Photo R. And then in terms of getting a really realistic speak, I'm just using ChatGPT to optimize it. Finally, I'm editing everything in Wondershare. But anyway, you can use any model you prefer. So let's have a look at how the avatar Rachel Turner turns out.
Good evening and welcome to the 9 o'clock news. I'm Rachel Turner. Tonight we're diving into a topic that's affecting millions of Americans: censorship on social media platforms. It's not just about what you can and can't post. It's also about how advanced AI models are now playing a role in what we see online, and even how they exhibit their own forms of bias. This issue is raising serious concerns across the country. To help us unpack this, we've invited Daniel Kafer, a social media expert and futurist, to share his insights on the growing threat of censorship in our digital lives. Stay tuned. This is a conversation you won't want to miss.
Anyway, why is this important? Well, I guess, it will just make video production so much cheaper once you can make these avatars perfect. Well, basically, you don't need to set up a studio or record anything anymore. You can just create an avatar and create the speak and get a production done in a matter of minutes. So in that way, I think for businesses, this is a game changer. As you can see, we're not there 100%, but I think we're really, really close. Okay, but let's go through the workflow I've used here. So when you want to create the image, you go to something called fal.ai. That is one of the websites where you can access Flux. And you're going to want to choose the model called Flux Realism LoRa. It is the one that will make the most realistic pictures to use. So basically, this is just like prompting. You just go in, make a prompt, in this case for a television host, and you describe her as you would normally do. And basically, you would run a number of prompts until you are satisfied with what you're getting. So one technique would be maybe doing just the prompts in standard resolution, but once you're satisfied with the result, you move on and you crank up the resolution to the highest, which I believe is 2000 times 2000 pixels. So I went through quite a number of different prompts. I kind of wanted to test this one out. But the thing you then learn is you might have a nice image, but it may not actually work. But let's just take this image and we're now going to Hydra to test it out. So what you can do inside Hydra here to the left, you can upload your audio or you can write the audio there. So I didn't use the audio there because I thought 11 Labs voices were better. So that's why I uploaded an audio instead. Let's also just look at the options. You can use the free one. It's fine if you want to create 5 videos or less. That are 30 seconds or less. I, however, chose the basic option as I wanted to create a little bit more footage, and I also wanted to create longer videos. So that's $10 a month, so pretty affordable. Anyway, I then uploaded the picture of this host, and well, it's very simple. You basically just press generate, and then it does that. So one little trick for this video is that since it's a YouTube video, I wanted the widescreen feel. So I just took a copy of the picture, put it into a photo editing program. This one I used was Photo R. And basically, I just asked AI to expand the image so it became white. This is the result here. I'm just downloading it. And then what you can then do is you can take it to an editing program and you can use it as a background. So you will have a similar background, you see it here, where we have extended the background so it lies behind the actual video footage. So it seems like the studio she's sitting in is larger. Anyway, the problem here was that I actually didn't like the result very much. I felt that the animations of her mouth and so on just didn't seem realistic. So I decided not to continue with this model. You can see it here. Instead, I tried a couple of more prompts and I ended up with this Rachel. She actually didn't look better as a photo, but the thing is, she just looks a lot more realistic when talking. So there's a little bit of trial and error to this really. Some of the other things I did for realism is as I'm not a native speaker and I'm not quite sure how to formulate, what would a typical female anchor, how would she speak on US television, I then tried ChatGPT to optimize her dialogue a little bit to make it more realistic. Not a necessary step, but I think it improved it a little bit. Then I took that text, imported it into 11 labs. I chose actually the voice called Rachel, as I found that one was fitting her the best and seemed the most realistic. And then we go back into Hydra, we upload the voiceover, we upload the high resolution picture of the host, and then we have our video. So try now to take a look at the video, let me know what you think. I still don't think we are at 100%, but I think we're getting there. So this is basically a test interview where I'm taking some old footage of myself where I'm talking about AI censorship, and then I kind of made some questions from this AI anchor that would fit some of my answers. It's about 5 minutes long, so if you have the patience, do watch it and let me know what you think. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to the 9 o'clock news. I'm Rachel Turner. Tonight, we're diving into a topic that's affecting millions of Americans: censorship on social media platforms. It's not just about what you can and can't post. It's also about how advanced AI models are now playing a role in what we see online, and even how they exhibit their own forms of bias. This issue is raising serious concerns across the country. To help us unpack this, we've invited Daniel Kafer, a social media expert and futurist, to share his insights on the growing threat of censorship in our digital lives. Stay tuned. This is a conversation you won't want to miss.
I don't think the platforms in general really handle this in the best possible way. I do think we are heading towards more and more censorship, which I think is worrying. So let's look at some of the celebrities that have been banned from the various platforms. We have Andrew Tate. He is very opinionated and talk a lot about men's rights, and he's been called misogynistic and sexist. And he's been banned from a lot of platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So pretty much he's banned all over. And he's mainly banned for hate speech and promoting harmful ideologies.
Are you suggesting that a guy like Andrew Tate is a good person for people to listen to? Many people would say that his views are very harmful. Is it not a good thing that the social media platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram have banned him? Why would you want to change that?
So personally, I'm no fan of Andrew Tate. But should he have been banned? I mean, he's under investigation for a number of things. Should the platforms have waited a little bit to see the outcome of those? So I think he definitely has videos where what he's saying is not appropriate. I guess my opinion is more ban those videos, maybe not him entirely. And also, he's a good example that it hasn't really worked, right? He has basically just used other people's accounts to spread his content. So he's banned, but he's not really banned anyway.
Thanks, Daniel. You know, there's a lot of concern out there, and I understand why you're particularly focused on the way Twitter handled the banning of Donald Trump. It's not just about one man being removed from a platform. It's about the broader implications for free speech, the role of big tech in our daily lives, and how these companies are making decisions that impact millions. Many are questioning whether Twitter acted fairly or if this sets a dangerous precedent for censorship and control over public discourse. Let's dive deeper into that.
Donald Trump, right? So he's allowed to run again for president, and he has been through the legal system and been accused of a ton of things, including whether or not he is guilty in kind of starting the riot after the last election. So you could say Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, they already found him guilty, and he is not allowed, or was not allowed, to be on these platforms himself. I think the ban on Twitter was permanent, but Elon Musk allowed him to be on X, which is Twitter now. But I think this one is truly dangerous, right? Because this is where platforms actually move really fast and say, this is not allowed, these opinions are not allowed, while the legal system, on the other hand, says, well, you're still fit to run for president. I mean, does it make any sense that you are fit for president, but you cannot communicate on these platforms? I think there's a major disconnect here. I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever.
Thank you, Daniel Kafer, for sharing your insights with us tonight. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this segment. But this conversation is far from over. We'll be keeping a close eye on how these issues unfold. For now, I want to thank our viewers for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 9 p.m. for more in-depth analysis and the latest updates on all the stories that matter to you. This is Rachel Turner, signing off from the 9 o'clock news. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.